video game podcast starts now.
Hello, Vietnam. That's the phrase or something like that. How are you all doing? Welcome to Click Click Play episode 54. We're closer to 100 than we are 1. That's a fact. What also is a fact is that Jordan Reese is here. Are you wearing a shirt, Jordan?
Am I wearing a shirt?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's the special occasion?
A skirt.
My nephew's second birthday.
Oh, well, you wouldn't want to disappoint him and wear a t-shirt.
No.
Yeah, because he's gonna remember.
Yeah.
I only wear t-shirts in the house. Whenever I leave the house, I'm either wearing a jumper or a shirt.
Ah, there we go.
Little Jordan trivia for you.
Yeah, a little sneak
Nice.
peek into his personal life. Speaking of t-shirts, that is a t-shirt behind you, isn't it? On the wall. Is it drying?
I've got that. So that this way.
Yeah.
So that is a Rocket League tee, which was gifted to me. It was my Christmas present from Rob. Thank you, Rob.
Oh, I thought it was drying.
And I've also got. That's, Andre, test for you. Do you know what that is?
That is it like a Bloodborne thing?
Dark Souls.
It's in a perfect circle there.
Oh,
I have a Rocket League one too, with
Oh.
my PSN.
Nice. Nice, sir.
oh wow! I think I need to get one of these things. I need to start playing Rocket League. I hear it's all right.
Fucking brilliant.
Is
Let's
it?
talk- let's just, all right, this is no Rocket League podcast. Go.
It's
know-
amazing.
It's the best game since Life is Strange. 1 minute. I think that's the record. That's the record. Speaking of strange, a strange life, Andre, the giant YouTube star.
Hey, we should talk about Life is Strange and how it's coming to cell phones and Switch near you. I'm sick, by the way.
Oh,
So I'm gonna be super fucking low energy. It sucks.
well, that
because
makes
I
a
have
change.
date. Yeah. I have a date.
Oh,
I have a date coming up in a couple of hours.
I
So
was just
that's gonna
going to
be fun
appreciate that.
Just, not tell her that I'm sick and then get her all types of sick
If you know what I mean.
because we're gonna eat food together and very close approximate.
Oh,
Really, you know what I mean. I'm just gonna get everyone in the restaurant sick because I'm a piece of shit, and that's what pieces of shit do. And I feel like I've been in my room literally all day, just like shivering because I'm so cold, and then
oh.
I cover myself and I'm so hot. And I'm like, ah, God,
But you still came to the podcast. That's dedication, that is.
I fucking hate this podcast. I want to remind myself that it gets better. you
Yeah,
know?
it does get
I do
better.
this podcast to just get to the to hit rock bottom. I do this podcast, and then afterwards, everything I do feels like an accomplishment.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh well, that's a shame. And did you not
fuck you, man.
Did you not think about cancelling the date? By saying, I'm coming down with the flu, so maybe we shouldn't meet. Jordan's. Look, he's.
Oh, he's getting all made up and stuff. Adorable. Adorable.
Oh,
What's
people
this?
listening to this on the podcast are gonna have. Oh, hey.
Hey.
People listening to this on the podcast are not going to be able to. Jordan's just had Jordan's girlfriend just
run down.
gave him a
like
mouthful.
spot, so I needed a bit of makeup. To,
Oh, look at this. This is the best. This
Oh.
is the best podcast we've ever had.
I've
Keep
been.
boobs out.
Oh, okay, man.
Oh wait, no, we've got 4 more days until that gets banned from Twitch.
Now we're banned on Twitch.
No, 4 more days.
No nip.
Booby streamers are allowed until the 15th, apparently. So that's how long I can. I've got to lose these puppies. Also, you can also hear us in the background. He's back. He's back from wherever he was.
Yeah, I don't work this weekend.
Woohoo, Melamanen.
That's great.
It's the
Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Oh
shit!
fuck. Wait, today's Mother's Day?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Is your mother Norwegian, Andre?
Oh no. Okay. Oh, those mothers don't count. I mean, come on.
They don't have mothers.
Yeah, they have spawns. They all come out of giant egg sacs.
We actually get born out of bears.
Yeah,
Beers or bears?
both.
Bears.
People get drunk and fuck a bear. And
It's
it's
drunk bears, and then that's how it happens.
Ah, that explains a lot. How you doing, Melamanen?
I'm good.
We were talking earlier, like how I'm Ben, he's Jordan, Andre, and then it's just Melum, which is Norwegian for middle. Doesn't even make sense. Ah, there you go.
It's great.
Yeah. Speaking of makeup, do you remember your little promise last night, Melum?
What's that?
You said that the weekend or a weekend before Eurovision, we're going to do an IRL stream of going through all the Eurovision songs that are going to be entered for this year's contest,
Why?
giving our opinion on them, and then you insisted that we did it in drag.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and I went through clips last night, and a couple of people have clipped that.
Oh, awesome. I'm in.
Yeah, you've got
Yeah.
until beginning of May, I think it is. So there we go. We'll have to ask Jordan for some
Perfect.
makeup tips because he's seems a pro at it now.
I'm gonna send you a flight ticket.
If I know his girlfriend is his makeup artist, maybe she could come over. Yeah, I didn't realize you were that tipsy, Melon. Well, maybe just, I don't know, maybe in Norway they do that. They're so comfortable with their masculinity and their beards and raping and pillaging that they don't care about being in drag.
That's Sweden.
Oh, yeah.
What?
I hear they're tough. I hear they're tougher in
Sweden
Sweden.
A bunch of pussies.
Is Norway versus Sweden a thing?
Yeah.
What's that about?
We were under Sweden
Right?
for a couple 100 years.
I'm
Mhm.
under a Swede.
Yeah.
Oh God.
The
Then you know
vegetable.
why we hate them.
Okay, enough.
Okay. Jordan, have you seen the new Cloverfield film?
Yeah. So, have you guys seen? I guess first question: have you seen the new Cloverfield film? Anybody?
I have not.
No,
I
but
have no interest in it.
Wasn't the first one like a AAA? There's two.
Yeah, I've
So
seen the
there's
first
two other Cloverfield films.
Oh,
So they're doing like a really weird thing that doesn't seem to be paying off that much for them. So the first Cloverfield film was a kind of what do you call like the fake documentary style?
found footage.
Yeah, found footage film, and had a media hype thing before it, like an advertising campaign, which was all about what do you call it, like an alternate reality thing going on to get people excited for it. And it was cool because it was by the guy from Lost, and Lost was pretty good at the time, so people were quite excited for it. And it turned out to be a fairly decent film.
Lost
outside
was
of the fact
always
that-
good.
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
Did you see the end? So, and when it came out, it was decent, but it's one of those films where you're like, why are you still filming? The world is under attack from fucking city block size monsters, and you're still pointing your mobile phone at it. Just run away, you crazy bastard. But it was a decent film. And then years later, 10 Cloverfield Lane came out.
yeah.
And that film was advertised, but not as a Cloverfield film. And it's kind of like a psychological horror film that, in the end, just suddenly becomes a sci-fi. Well, I don't want to spoil it for anybody because it's quite a cool ending, actually. But people quite like that film.
Yeah.
Most of it's set underground. It's a girl that wakes up in this underground like bunker, and she's being told the world is fucked and she can't go outside. But then it becomes a kind of psychological thing of, actually, is the guy that's there with her in the bunker actually lying to her, or is outside actually fucked? And eventually she escapes, and you find out what happens.
Is it fucked?
So that was pretty cool. People like that one. And then suddenly the Super Bowl happens, which is like this weird thing that Americans do. It's kind of like rugby.
It's where we we politicize the people who beat their wives and then frown on people who complain when people are getting shot by police. Yeah, it's that big of a
Can't wait for the XFL. That'll make it better.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Black Panther. So
oh my God.
So and in the Super Bowl, they're like, this new film is coming called the Cloverfield Paradox.
Can I just ask something? Doesn't Cloverfield have any license? Can anybody just make a Cloverfield movie?
No, so they're all produced by J.J. Abrams, I believe, or maybe the other one of the guys from Lost, anyway. And I think what's happened with this one, and I'm not sure if it was the same with the second, this film was supposed to be called The God Particle, and it was supposed to be just a standalone sci-fi film. And I think at some point they realized it's shit, and that maybe they can crowbar the Cloverfield license onto it to get people to buy it. And then they realized, oh, that didn't work either. So what we're going to do instead of putting it into cinema, we're just going to put it onto Netflix. But in order to get people to watch it, we're going to announce it during the Super Bowl and say that you can watch it straight after the Super Bowl, which is a pretty cool marketing trick. So they made me go and watch it, and that's a really fucking shit film. It's by far the worst of the Cloverfield films, and one of the worst films I've seen in a long long while. I'm glad for them that they didn't release that in cinema, because if they did, they would look very, very silly, because it doesn't even look like a film that you would see in the cinema. It doesn't look like it's filmed to that. I have no idea about film, but I know what a film is supposed to look like when it's in the cinema. This film doesn't look like that. It reminded me of an episode of, it'd probably be the most expensive episode of Black Mirror you've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
If that kind of sets the scene for you.
That's
I hate
quite
Black
good.
Mirror.
Isn't there 2 Cloverfields movies coming out this year?
Probably. It
Because
probably came out months ago.
Because I think it's not just one maker that makes all of them.
Yeah. I
Seems
don't
like a
think.
free license or
I
something.
doubt Abrams is actually directing any of this shit. I hope he's not.
Oh.
He's got Star Wars to contend with. But it's the only thing that I like. I love universe building. So for me, the fact that there's these 3 films, pretty much all of them are different genres. Pretty much, like it's only sci-fi that ties through them, and the second one is barely a sci-fi film. So the fact that they're universe building, but you can tell with this one where they've just they had a film and then they've just shot other scenes to make it into Cloverfield. It's kind of laughable at points. So yeah, I'm not sure why we've spent 10 minutes talking about
No, Malk in the chat says next Netflix exclusive is the new release straight to DVD. Yeah, I thought
It's been like that for a while.
the films, maybe. Yeah, like the show. Like, well, saying that, I started watching that Altered Carbon as well, and
How is that? I have so many questions about that.
so like I dropped off it, and the quality is there. Like that is talking about, aesthetics that could be in the cinema. Like that film, that show could totally be a film.
Yeah.
For me, it was kind of derivative. It felt like a poor man's Blade Runner. It's kind of got all the same shtick that we've had since Blade Runner, basically. So it's this futuristic society, and everything is kind of neon signs, and everyone's digitized, and there's digital prostitutes. And
Is
whatever
there
else
anything
going on.
new?
I think it's not really a new concept, but the whole principle of this universe, and I think it's based on a book. I wouldn't be surprised if it's based on a book, because it seems like there's some kind of lore-ish elements to it. But the title Altered Carbon, I guess, is a riff off the fact that in this universe, if you die, you've got a chip basically in the back of your neck. I'm not sure if everybody's got these or not, but people have chips in the back of their neck, and that's what stores your personality. And then if you die, but that chip isn't damaged in any way, you can take that chip out, you get put into a new body, which is called a sleeve. And then you carry on, but just with a new body. So the chap is the main character.
How the rich people have infinite life, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, yeah. And the richest guy can even back up his. He's got like a satellite that backs up his file every 10 minutes.
In the clouds.
Yeah, so it is cool, and it looks great. Like the effects in it, you don't expect to see in a TV show, let alone something that's on Netflix. But for me, it was, I don't know, it was just a little too on the nose in terms of just, it's sci-fi that we've seen before for me. And I think the main guy is the guy that runs against Frank Underwood in House of Cards.
He was so good in House of Cards, so I'm glad to see him getting work.
Yeah, but he kind of works better as as a side actor as opposed to the main guy. As the main guy, I'm not sure if he's got the chops for it. Serious fucking body on that guy. So they do the whole Terminator thing where he's like naked, and it's like.
Didn't he do the RoboCop?
Wait, what's this show called?
Oh shit, was that him?
Yeah, he's the remake guy, I think.
But you never see his face, really, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
Rob in the chat says that it's good, Andre.
With him?
Rob says that it's good.
I guess that's what I'm saying in a really long way. For me,
that doesn't sound like you.
I can't be bothered with it, but there's nothing about it that I think is bad. It's like really seemed like it was really well written, looked really good, and the kind of the world is that's quite a cool concept, I think, in terms of the sleeve stuff. I just can't be fucked with it. I'll see what happens if in a couple of weeks everybody's still saying it's really good. Maybe I'll jump back in. But yeah, that guy's in serious shape. And if you're going to take the chip out of my neck and put it into another body, make it that one, because he's ripped.
I might have to check this out. I downloaded a few episodes of
ripped guys is like his only. All right, I'll check it out. I wasn't paying attention. What was it about?
So sexist.
We've got some news. Some paid ad promotion. It's not paid. If any of you would like to know, that was Glossier Stretch Concealer in medium. Jordan's girlfriend's messaged me to say.
God, is Laura in touch with you? Christ. How did this happen? How do you talk to each other?
Facebook message. She sends me the odd little snippet to surprise you with.
They talk together all the time.
Yeah, gonna have to watch. Like that time.
I think to New York anytime soon.
I think she's invited you to my wedding, Ben. Is this true?
I put it. I'm not sure because I'm not sure when. I think I'm working but I got
Wait,
some kind of
Am I
invite.
invited to this?
I got an invite
No,
to
because
a.
you live in the United States of America.
That's okay.
Hello.
Give me an invite
You're-
at least.
You're more than
Jeez.
welcome to come, but I wouldn't want to put that on you.
Oh god.
So it's May 27th. If you're feeling like you're going to be in the UK, you're
May
welcome
20,
to.
May 27th. Let me see. Oh, I mean, that would be awesome. But it's a Sun. Wait a minute. Are you not going to be there for the podcast? That's a podcast day, Jordan.
Oh, you better be here for that fucking podcast, man.
Unfortunately,
Postpone your wedding in a few hours.
Unfortunately,
Talk about
I'm-
Altered Carbon a little bit more.
I'm working on
Not
a
even
Saturday.
He's my best man. He won't be here to.
Oh
to
my
put on
god.
the Saturday. So you're in deep trouble.
Is it a Sunday?
It's Sunday.
You
Thank
get-
God.
Oh my
Oh, you
god.
can't do it then.
Yeah. I hope
You
you're
might
gonna.
be, so.
We're gonna invite you.
You can come and then we can have a live podcast during the.
Yeah,
wedding.
you can
wow.
get the GoToMeeting app on your phone, and we can put it on there.
Just tell the guests to shut up if they haven't got a question. It's about video games.
Yeah. Excuse, does anyone have a question about video games? But yeah, unfortunately, I'm working on that Saturday and then the Monday, so it would just be impossible. But I'll be there in spirit.
It's impossible to book a day off, but let's move on.
Oh, it is in teaching in schools, unfortunately.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
congratulations.
Congrats, you fuck. I thought you were going to be alone for the rest of your life. Looks like.
I would
You're not
love to
gonna-
be alone for the rest of my life, but it's
Yeah.
not socially acceptable. So
You're just on. Yeah.
All right, well, let's go into the games. It's been a while talking about films, so let's do what we're actually here for. Talk about games.
Yay.
Time to play the game. It's all about the game and how you play it. All about control. And if you can take it, it's all about your debt. And if you can pay it, it's all about pain. And who's gonna make it?
What games are you bastards playing right now? What games have you finished playing? Because I think a few of us have finished playing a game.
Let me just say my final words on Celeste.
I think we've got a few people because Melon started playing it.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck. I would love to hear. Well, let me just say my final words.
Our final words.
Yeah, because I'm done playing the game. I kind of 100%ed it.
Whoa.
My
Oh,
God.
wow.
Yeah. Even on 50% slow motion and using infinite dashes, it still took me like a few hundred deaths to get like the last level done. It is, I'm not gonna go back and try to beat it normally. I've experienced what they want you to do at the end. You have to unlock seasides at the end, and it's
So what are the seasides?
What
You
is
sent me the
seasides?
picture. What is that actually?
the seasides. Like the thing I like about that game the most is because each puzzle or each like level is like a 30-second thing, and it's like once you beat it, you leave that room and that's it. Like you're on to the next thing. These seasides, man, they're extremely difficult and they're extremely long. So you can be like platforming for like 2 minutes and then die at the end and be like, and it's always like the last thing that kills you. It's like fucking impossible.
So is there one for each level, like the B-sides?
Yeah, there's one for each level. You unlock them after you get all the seasides from.
So is it just the level, but no room continues?
No, it's a completely different level. It's like a completely like it has new music again, and it's just insane.
Fucking
It's
good for them. I thought it was impressive that there's like a duplicate of the levels
Yeah.
they gave you anyway. Like if there's another layer on top of that, fucking A, like that game is crazy.
And then each level comes with a golden strawberry that you get from unlocking all the strawberries, or not from unlocking like the last seasides and stuff. What it does is it lets you, what's it called? Like right at the beginning of the level, you pick up the golden strawberry, and now you have to go through the entire level without dying to collect that strawberry. I'm not gonna do that because fuck that. Even at 50% slow motion, I started using the assist last time we talked. And man, they're so fucking in depth with what you can use. It's so cool. You can just turn on invincibility. Just fucking walk through the entire thing. 100% it.
Oh,
you
yeah, you
literally
should do
walk
that.
on spikes. I should do that, but like I'm like, oh no, I'll just keep it to 50% slow motion. My hands aren't like fast enough to do like the twitch reflexes that I need to accomplish something.
I love that they've got that
the
assist mode.
I put 40 hours into it, and I'm done now. I'm like 100% done. I cannot play that game anymore.
You think it's
I've,
time? Is it time for Night in the Woods?
Yeah, it's time for Night in the Woods. But first, I'm going to play Spec Ops: The Line, which just came out on Xbox One. You can download it now, and I've always wanted to play it because I hear great things.
Nice.
So Spec Ops: The Line, coming. You know that classic game from 20 years ago.
So just in terms of Celeste, marks out of 10.
I would give it like a solid 9.
Oh, okay. So you've
Solid 9.
because you were I think you were a 10 last week. So what's happening this?
Yeah, no, it's not that. Man, I don't know. Like I would give it a 10, but I feel like I can't just give every game a 10. It's more
Yeah,
of
every
a,
game a 10. But...
it's more like
Give it a 10 if you want to.
Mhm.
that's the thing. Like I've had so much fun with such a simple concept, and like when
I
I
think
beat it,
40 hours for a game like this is crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Outside
insane.
of Rogue Legacy, I've never like I didn't put 40 hours into this, and I haven't got the patience to. But the fact that it's got the scope for you to put that time in there,
I would
I
give it
think
a
only-
9.5.
probably Rogue Legacy and Spelunky are the only other games I think that will, in terms of this kind of 2D indie experience, will give you that kind of longevity. It's crazy.
When
Which
did
is
we-
so
I'm
awesome.
so sad, I'm so
Solid
sad I'm
9.5.
never gonna finish it. And the
Yeah.
reason I'm just not good enough with the platform.
That's what I like about it so much. It's like I've always felt like I wasn't good enough,
Yeah.
and then
yeah.
I would just do
Aw.
it, just in life. And
yeah, I was like, what?
Climb that mountain, bro.
I'm
Came
so
through.
sick right now. Don't make me laugh.
Climb the
I'll let you
mountain.
go. But yeah, like at times in that game, like I felt like no, like nobody can do this. This is an impossible level. They finally did it. They made it an impossible level. Nobody can beat this. And then like 20 minutes later, I beat it,
Mm.
and I'm like, okay, one more level. I'd give it a solid 9.5. I'm not sure what's keeping it from a 10. Probably the fact that it gets way too fucking difficult. I wish it would have just ended
Mm.
right when I beat it.
I think I like.
Yeah.
Accessibility stuff in there, So
That's what makes it so great. Like the accessibility of it is like incredible.
The bit where you're talking about where you can
know
like spend
those,
2 minutes platforming, like just sounds like that's the reason why I don't. That's the reason why I like the game so much. Is that it's if you actually master a certain area, you can do it within 15-20 seconds. But like the fact that you'd have to either do a full level without dying, or it's 2 minutes or so without going back to the start, then that wouldn't interest me. I'm looking forward to finishing it. I'm gonna eventually get through it, but I think when I go and like replay some bits, I'm gonna try some of the assists on there. What about you, Melum? So what did you think to it? You started playing it like a week and a half ago, but you weren't here last week. What's your take on it?
I played I haven't played enough. I played I'm on the 4th level, I think now.
That's not bad.
I'm after the hotel.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That hotel was
Yeah.
challenging.
So it's not I'm not that far, but and it's fucking amazing, and it's really isn't sharp gameplay. I love that, but I'm just not good enough. I don't have the patience. There's on YouTube. There's a lot of clips that Celeste, by the way, Mada project. But there's a lot of clips of 12 years old boys that play Call of Duty and get killed and starts to cry and shout.
Yeah.
That's me after a half an hour during that Celeste.
Have you not tried with assist mode, or is that like quitting for you?
Is it assist mode?
Yeah, there's an assist mode where you can have
Oh, yeah,
slow motion,
It's really good.
or infinite dashes or invincibility.
Oh, I haven't tried that.
It helps you a lot. It's very good. But like I look at it the same way I looked at looking up puzzles in the Witness. Like if you were to look up a puzzle on the Witness, you kind of just ruin the entire learning experience of it. Like you have to master everything because everything comes back into play in like the last couple levels. And it's like if you're not good at the end, I became really shitty at one thing, and it fucking ruined my experience. I'm like, I can't do this. I don't understand the physics of it. I don't like this. I don't think this is fun. And eventually I just bashed my head against it for a long time, and now I kind of get it, but I can only do it in slow motion. Man, I am so sick.
Well, if you want to.
That.
Yeah.
Melon, are you enjoying the narrative stuff?
Yeah, I don't. It's really funny. It's funny written, and but it doesn't grip me anything or.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say, like, if you're bouncing off the platforming, but you want to do that, I would probably recommend getting the assist stuff on the go, because it sounds like it's like if you can slow down time and is there invincibility in the assist stuff?
Yeah, there's literally invincibility. You don't die from you can jump on spikes.
You could just power through it if you wanted to see that stuff. I don't think the story's much to write home about. I think
I quite like the story. It's charming. It's interesting. I'd like to see where it goes.
About like doing our best and accomplishing the hard stuff, and
I think
being
for
a
the
better person, isn't it?
I think about like the art style, like and the gameplay. It almost doesn't match having like a good story. Like I can't think of another game with that like style.
Undertale.
Yeah, but that's a shitty game, and we only try to.
You should love Undertale. Like,
Oh,
have
I
you played
really
it?
fucking, I really fucking love it. It's the only game I have on my PC or on my
Like, I
Mac.
don't
Like,
love that game in terms of I want to play that game, but I love reading about that game and
Yeah.
what that game did in terms of breaking the fourth wall and just
Yeah.
being kind of creative within that kind of limited verb set. I thought it was
Being like a
incredible.
meta thing.
Yeah.
Definitely. But we digress.
We do. Are we going to do a review podcast sometime of like the odd game where we discuss it and then give marks out of 10 at the end?
Can we lift up boards?
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
hoping for. And at the same time, and then the average. Oh, it'd be like
I'll write it on my chest and just take my
Oh.
clothes off at the end.
You can just use the makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just write it in your lipstick on your forehead. All right. So, yeah, a few of us have played a little game, a little indie game called Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh boy.
Holy shit.
Mhm.
Holy shit.
I think have we all finished it?
Yeah.
Yeah, not a bad
There's
game.
nothing more to say.
Oh God. Who wants to start?
Well, I can give it from a fresh perspective if you want, because I never finished the original. I only killed I think 1 or 2 colossi. I didn't get to the bit where there's the bird that takes you in the air. Like,
So just to be clear, I know that you finished this game now. So just to be clear
Yeah.
for the listeners, this is when you played it previously.
yeah, that from before I killed the first one, which I still think is kind of one of my favorites, just because it's real typical. It's just like a typical one. It's the one off I think the front of the box, and you're doing it really typically. But I don't know. Rob says no spoilers. Okay, he's 5 hours in and he's 12 down. Okay, so we'll try not to talk about the last few, but it's difficult not to talk about the last one.
Yeah, we have to talk about the last one.
Just before, I'm not gonna
Talk mechanically about.
yeah, I'm not gonna
about
spoil the last
bosses,
one.
But yeah, let's leave story. There's some story stuff in the.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like he's getting into the story beats, so we probably should leave that stuff out.
Thinking about it, the last one, I think when I finally beat the last one, I sent a message saying, "Oh fuck that guy." But now thinking about it, I'm really glad, because that one is the one that I'm going to remember more than any of them, because of just how epic the battle was.
Which one? Sorry.
The very last one.
Did you enjoy the last one?
I enjoyed it afterwards. Like thinking back about it, it was such an epic battle, because I thought the penultimate one was like the ultimate battle, because you face this absolutely huge dude, and then I was like, well, they can't beat that, and then they managed to do it. I really like that one. But yeah,
Traditionally, the last boss has been kind of panned. So I come out of this game. Like I've probably played this game maybe 3 times, probably twice with the original one and then once with the remaster, and then coming into it the 4th time. I think obviously this is one of my favorite games of all time, but I did used to think that some of the bosses were weak compared to the others, and I think this remaster does a really good job for me of making all of them pretty strong again, and I think they do that in terms of the visual and stylistic choices. So, for instance, the one where it's a relatively small one, and you have to knock it over with the water fountain.
That's the worst, yeah, for me.
Yeah, so he's still one of the weaker ones, but when I played that on PS2, I was like, this is like it just didn't come together. And then playing this one, because they're fucking with like way more effects and graphical capability. That whole region is like fogged up, and there's
exactly.
where it's kind of shooting the laser stuff at you. That's making lighting effects happen, which gave it a bit more personality for me.
Yeah.
And that happened with a lot of the weaker bosses. If it just felt a little bit stronger, because I think they just had a bit more personality for me. The ones that were already strong. So I think like you said, number 1 is really strong because it's your first encounter, and it's like it's so passive, that monster. Like it's just lumbering around. I love the aesthetic of like the birds around it, because it's so tall. I always love that shit. And like it's not going to touch you, and I always just like firing an arrow off from miles away, and that one arrow just hits it.
Yeah, but the big one, the one you have to turn around when you play it on hard, you can get hit. Oh, sorry, you can get hit by him like 3 times, or then you're dead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is it the water fountain one? I found that I think I realized what I was doing wrong, because it took me 18 minutes to kill that guy, and that was like the second time, because I died the first one because he was killing me all the time.
Now, sorry.
The one that you have to knock over with the water fountain stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But I found out that the reason was that it was telling you, well, you were supposed to be playing that whole one on the horse. And the reason was that my horse was distracting it. So I was trying to distract it to come over near the water fountain. And then my horse was at the other side of it, taking it in that other direction. So I think, like, as soon as I realized that I was supposed to be on my horse, it was pretty simple.
It's really difficult to avoid its missiles if you're just running about as well.
Yeah, that's what killed me the first time. But then, like, I think this the one after, you also need your horse, so it kind of teaches you a bit. And I love the hints. Are the hints in the original as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they come in too quickly for me. Like, I know...
You can turn it off, though.
Yeah, so I don't think you could in the original, but definitely you can with this one. And, like, I know, like, with a lot of these, and it's almost the kind of floor of the game. It's very much a puzzle game. And once you know the trick, it makes it... You can plow through a lot of these ones.
Yeah.
But there were definitely ones where I didn't really remember what I needed to do. And then within a couple of minutes, straight away, that voice is coming in and telling me, like, giving me a hint, sometimes quite vague, sometimes pretty on the nose. So I think they could slow down with that stuff.
Yeah, that's what I would say as well. The bit that I think the only bit I was generally stuck on was right at the end, when and it wasn't, somebody in the chat was saying, who was a massive fan of it, saying how it's not really self-intuitive. It's, you're not quite sure what you're meant to do. Yeah, like when you're climbing up and you have to, like, jump at a certain point, and then
and it's not really something you've done in the game previously. That's not really the way the game has worked before.
I think
there's only one jump that is hard. It's really hard, and that's the one where you have to stand up and use the arrow.
You have to what? Sorry.
But there's a way to skip it.
Yeah. The one where you taught me, it was great. Thank you so much for that. Otherwise, I'd probably still be playing it right now. Although I did make that.
I have never. I've done that boss like 4 or 5 times now.
Yeah.
And I'm never managed to do it the original way.
The original way I managed. Oh, I didn't do the arrow way, but I found a way that there was, if I jumped on his thumb at a certain point and jumped, I was able to grab it. But then once I went there, got his shoulder, stabbed his shoulder, but I didn't realize that you just hopped onto his head from the back. I was trying to jump on his hand again.
His cock.
Oh, are we still talking about the game?
Of course it is. but I have that boss now on normal. I have it under 9 minutes now.
Yeah.
Nice. How good does this game look?
Yeah. I'm playing on 60 FPS, and it very, very rarely. It only ever drops a little bit when I'm starting a new monster and I'm just leaving the shrine, leaving the main hub area. That's the only time it ever drops. But it's stunning. The camera's a bit wonky.
I didn't really like the 60 frames a second thing. Like the original game aims for 30, probably runs more like 20 on the PS2. And I think for me, going from like 25 frames a second to right up to 60, it felt jarring. I was very comfortable with a lock 30, and I think the 30 frames a second, or at least, to rephrase that, the 60 frames a second makes the monsters feel less epic to me. Like they're moving a little bit faster, they feel a bit more fluid, whereas at 30 frames they're kind of a little bit more staggering. I think it's probably just because I'm such a fan of the original that it just feels different to me, so I kind of reject it. I'm potentially 60 frames a second is the way to go. I'm not sure, but for me, I need you to play it at 30, which typically I'll always choose. I'll always choose frames per second over resolution. But on this one, I played it at 4K and went for the 30 frames.
Yeah,
they look fucking amazing.
I was just able to play on 30, and for me, it was never any drops or anything. And I play on the original PlayStation.
Yeah, and that's the difference. Like you're going from playing a game that, you know, if you don't talk about the remaster and you talk about the PS2 version, you're going from a game that really challenged the limits of that system, and you could feel it. It was, you know, there's such a thing as kind of good frame drops where it makes a game feel more epic, and it was definitely one of those. But at the same time, sometimes it made the game harder when you're doing the kind of twitchy jump stuff. I love what Sony is doing in terms of these remasters, and I think it's quite it's an expensive but really creative answer to the backwards compatibility thing. They're selecting stuff from their back catalog and they're building that stuff from the ground up. And I know you guys don't like Crash Bandicoot, but from a technical perspective,
Not the first
that
one.
trilogy-
The other
that
ones were
trilogy
good.
remaster was ridiculous from a tech perspective, and this Shadow of the Colossus remake. There's no, as far as I'm aware, there's no base code to this stuff. They fucking built that game, and
Yeah.
to rebuild a game like this, which has so much stuff which isn't in code. There's so much stuff in that original game which is just the fucking soul of that game, the way it came together and the way that it felt that is intangible. And the fact that they managed to capture that and they didn't make it feel kind of cheap or a knockoff, I think fucking A. Like, and I hope they carry on with that stuff. I'm not sure what else I'd like to see be done in that way, but I'm more than happy to see more of it.
It does feel like a totally new
so
game.
in the original, all of the background are almost like real up to really close with just JPG, just pictures. And
Yeah.
here you render a whole fucking world.
Yeah.
It looks incredible.
You can see it miles
like
in the distance.
Did you notice the pillars of light that come from the Colossi as you defeat them, and you
Yeah.
see them in the distance? Like, look up at one of those when you're near it,
yeah.
and it's like it's impacting the clouds above it, and it's causing like a little storm above you. It just looks fucking incredible.
I didn't realize till the end that the carcasses are there, because I never really went back over where where I'd killed one. It was.
I noticed the second one when I was going over the bridge. You could kind of look over and you kind of see it there.
Yeah.
Crumpled down, covered in sand.
That's cool.
Yeah, so good.
Oh, it took me so long to get that bus the first time.
Which one? The
second one.
I'm right. So the way I do that
oh.
one is I shoot the bottom of his foot. Right, that is the way to do it. Yeah.
I did that instant.
The fast way is to do it from the back to the backbones, back legs. But the main way to do it is to stand in front of him, so it takes up his hooves. And then
because
I didn't do
kind
that.
of wait. I try to shoot it as it's walking, and you get a little glimpse of the light.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like I'm doing the right
way
thing,
to do it.
So that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I must have been really lucky because I got his foot like instantly. It was. I just felt like the ones that the colossi that take you into the air is just incredible. When you're on top of one and you're flying and you can see it below, like you can see the whole world below as the wind's passing you. I think
How good was like number 4, the bird.
Yeah, as soon as you grab onto it.
When you jump on that.
Yeah.
That's like the best fucking level in games. Oh.
Yeah.
So Andre, you buying a PS4 yet?
I'm about to, just to play that fucking game.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite games of all time. So like,
oh,
to see people like jumping back on it, like makes me happy. I'm glad. I wish I could experience it for the first time, and I feel like playing this would do just that, which is nice.
Yeah, this was the first time I play. It was so long ago, and I only played it for maybe a couple of hours. That this was just like playing a brand new game, and I said it before. This is I wouldn't say it's my favorite game, but it's definitely like in the top 10, 15 now. Just from
That makes me so happy
playing it. I'm gonna go and
for me, it's almost top.
Yeah.
Jordan's crying. He's so happy.
No, it's brilliant. And I'm looking forward to
shit on it in some way.
Tears during the game, but we won't talk about the story too much.
No, I'm looking forward to. Yeah, the ending was very sad, but I think everyone knows it's a sad game.
I think that's like one of the most beautiful endings in video games ever.
Yeah.
So
It's
fucking cool.
Fucking
There's
brilliant.
one thing that I didn't like, and it's okay, but it's just bad design that it forces you to use a thing when you do the last jump before the last boss.
Which one?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You can't do the jump without.
Let's steer away.
Yeah,
Which
and
one,
I don't like that it forces you to do that because it's an easy jump without it. If it just was a little longer.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, and the
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What about,
That's
so
the only
there's
thing
loads
I
of
don't
there's loads of items you can unlock with this, and I don't think you could do that in the first one, or maybe I'm just misremembering. But there's
You have to. Oh no, I don't know that.
I don't
But
know.
I have all the normal ones now.
What are those
Because
like
I
little
beat it
glowing
all
things?
12 on the time attack.
so the glowing things. There's like 80 of them apparently.
Yeah.
And that was really striking for me because I'm pretty familiar with this game, and I walked into, I think it was just before the bird fight, and I walked into that place, and there was something new there, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like this is like, where's the rest of the game? As much as they've kind of, it's not even a remaster, like they've kind of reimagined it but kept everything consistent. Suddenly there's this fucking thing that I've been playing this game for like 15 years or something, and there's something different there. It was really weird, but apparently there's like 80 of them, which I only found like 3, so it must be really well hidden.
Yeah, I found about 4 or 5. I didn't even realize you could pick it up.
And
Have you killed any of the
you-
blue-tailed lizards?
It unlocks a new item essentially.
Have you hunted any lizards?
See, I've never done. I know that the silver tail lizards will increase your stamina. I've never done that in the game. And obviously your stamina increases naturally as you defeat colossi anyway. Do you need, like, again, without going into any end game spoilers for it, do you, in terms of the thing you can unlock as an option at the end of that game, or once you played through it a couple of times, do you need to hunt the lizards to do that, or do you just get that naturally from beating the bosses? I'm guessing Melum is the only one that's gonna.
Are you talking about the rewards for time attacks?
No.
Finding
so
those.
Talking about the Andre might know as well. So the hidden area that you can access.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you need everything.
You need everything to get the stamina.
So you need to hunt lizards as well, yeah?
There's a hidden area?
I think so.
I didn't even know that.
What does the fruit get you? Is that more stamina?
It's your life. It makes your life better, or like heals you. I think. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it.
It's really good.
Cameras, I think it's true. The controls in the camera are a bit unusual at times, but
people were getting nauseous while watching my stream, but the thing I turned down the sensitivity of the camera, and it was a lot better.
That did help a lot in the last boss, especially. I think the horse is perfect for going across like long, like wide plains. Is perfect. And you were saying, John, now it's like one button controls. I wasn't even finding that you can actually kick the horse and just put the controller down, and it'll keep going in a straight line.
Yeah. So the difference in this game to a lot of games the difference between this and Witcher, for instance, is that you're not having one-to-one control with that horse. What you're doing is you're controlling the guy on the horse and saying to tell the horse to turn left or right, and then sometimes the horse won't want to do that.
Yeah.
So if there's something in front of the horse it doesn't want to do, it's not going to do it. But if you're on a path, the horse will take that logical path, and you just need to tug left and right if you come to like a crossroads or something like that.
Yeah, it was a bit annoying for me a little bit. But I think maybe it's the camera, because sometimes like it was so far off to the right, I wasn't quite sure. I couldn't even look over where I was meant to be going. I didn't even see that there was like a fork in the road because the camera was like really far behind to the left and close to the ground. It looks amazing. It's just like it's a small gripe that a few people have seen mentioned as well.
Declined.
And the contrast between those big majestic buses and just riding over the plains, it was just mind blowing.
Yeah, it's great having the mix of like something, where you're just having these massive epic boss fights and then just spending ages traveling across trying to find them. So good.
So I think that's probably all that I've got to say about it, other than just to go to my normal analogy of the boxing fight between PlayStation and Xbox. So Xbox was knocked out about 2 years ago. This is just another fucking kick in the head from Sony to Xbox, and they need to stop the fight. So just to go back to that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Xbox. What are they gonna do?
Get Manny on.
Yeah, right.
Business. So is that it? Oh, did you find the Last Guardian Easter egg?
Is it a barrel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize what it was until Melum said it.
I want to fight Trico.
Yeah. That's easy. It's just all hair, though, isn't it? You just climb up it and stick your sword in it.
And shit. That you can make a good boss out of that. Stab it in the head 5 times.
Which is another boss I'm just thinking of that was amazing was that one where you like the flying snake thing. You crawl across it in the desert. Oh.
There's like a classic GIF of that where I've never done it this way, but obviously you shoot the sacks for it so it lowers and then climb up its like wings. Yeah, I'm assuming that's how you guys did it. So I've seen a GIF where somebody just rides the horse at full pelt towards a cliff, jumps off the horse from off the cliff and lands on the flying thing and does it that way.
Amazing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so good. I'm gonna hook it up to my 4K TV and I think can play it this week. I want to see what it's like.
PlayStation 2 game. Insane.
It does feel like a brand new game though. I know it's a remaster, or it's a remake, isn't it? It's not even a remaster, and you can tell.
There's no like obviously there's a modern control setup because people are bitches about controls these days. But like realistically it's just a fresh bit of paint on it. Like the core gameplay is everything that it always has been. And I'm really glad you like it. If you had come out of it shitting on it, I would have been really upset.
I was kind of because the fact that you guys had hyped it up so much, it was working against it a bit. But then after about I know, even like half an hour, I'm like, yeah, I'm really into this. And when I was getting on and like further, and especially the ending, I'm not giving anything away, but it told a really interesting and unique story, which
Yeah.
I like. I just like a weird, but it's not so simple, but it's very open story, so you can interpret how you want. But it's just really unique. It's not
It feels like folklore.
It's really
Yeah,
it's
it
really
does.
like Dark in the way that
oh no.
I don't like to compare against the Dark Souls. In the way that it's like it gives you so little information, but you understand that it is this big universe and
Gotta
it's
check
so
the
much
rusty key.
more.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
What does the rusty key mean? Though? Like, that's the important aspect of this fucking game. You find it.
All right. Well, so that is Shadow of the Colossus. Any last
And
words?
also one thing, of
Yeah.
course, during your first playthrough, you're
Mhm.
gonna hate this game 16 times.
Am I? Well, I getting frustrated with fighting them.
Yeah.
The things, the hints were so quick. I knew pretty much straight away what I had to do. The only one that was frustrating, apart from obviously the last one, was the one where I was in a water and I had to climb up this guy's back and then jump on a little tower. That got me a little bit.
Yeah,
But it's-
like I've got a thing about like
Oh.
deep water and not knowing what's in the water, and especially if there's big fucking animals in there. And it never really bothered me in the PS2 one, but I think with the added fidelity of this one, I knew what I needed to do to defeat that boss. I did not want to jump in that water
No,
because you just kind of see it swimming under, and it's all kind
Yeah,
of
it's
murky and stuff. Didn't like it.
I glitched.
Ugh.
The game glitched for me a couple of times around there. I didn't. Yeah, you were watching, weren't you, Melum? At one bit, I jumped into. It's like a reservoir, and there's like that's where that monster is. But further down there,
Yeah.
there's a waterfall.
But the thing is, you're not supposed to go that way, and the thing that got you was the currents in
Yeah.
the water.
Well, there are two things. One time it glitched because I died because I jumped into it, and the current in the reservoir actually got me spinning around and around, which I suppose is realistic. And I was underwater and I couldn't get out. And the other one was I glitched through a rock and I couldn't jump or get out. I couldn't kill myself for about 10 minutes. Eventually did it. Yeah, awesome. Really good game. Other games I've just been playing, Hitman. I did the Elusive Target. It's on my YouTube channel. Check it out. It was so much fun. I just love that
You
game.
said that last week. How many elusive targets are there?
There are like 24 or so. But they release them like every 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks' time, I'll let you know the next one. But they're brilliant. This one was really fun. There were twins, but you only were supposed to kill the one with a watch. And I love that game. And today I've been playing the Patient Zero, which is like an extra campaign they've just added to the Game of the Year edition, and it takes place on 4 maps. So it's just like the original. There were 6 episodes, I want to say 6 or 7. So this is like, well, they're reusing the maps, but it's just 4 more kind of missions or 4 levels. I did the first one just now, where it's this kind of doomsday cult, and you have to kill the 2 people in charge. Like that, they've changed it a lot as well. They added loads of things to the maps to make it realistic and for this campaign. I can't wait for season 2. I really hope that we get a season 2 announcement at E3 or before then, because I'm really ready for a season 2 of Hitman. And also Rainbow Six Siege. Loving that game still. We're getting a free weekend next weekend, so if anybody wants to give it a go for free, it's out then. I've started playing with a few people who, which is it's a lot better than just random matchmaking. You get like really. There is a bad community in Rainbow Six. I know people say it's very positive and they're a lot more mature than Dota and stuff, but the amount of dicks that I come across playing Rainbow Six is...
It's the same as every competitive game.
Yeah, I mean, even quick play, they're like really getting really angry, like, oh my god, and shouting at each other. It's like, calm down, it's just quick play. It's not ranked or anything like that. It doesn't affect you. Calm your tits. But I'm just enjoying playing that. Because I've been playing with a few different people, I've been changing the operator, so trying out all their new moves and all their special abilities, their different weapons. And I've got a nice mute with a Union Jack face mask and on the weapon there's a nice big Union flag on there. So yeah, it's and they're doing a zombie mode out. The zombie mode's coming out in March, which is going to be interesting because it's a big map. You can only control a few of the operators, and it's co-op. It's not. I don't think it's PvP. So that makes me think that They may be
There must be
testing.
some co-op stuff, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's co-op. I don't know if
Like
it's
in-
PvP though.
Yeah.
I think you're against waves of zombies or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's just like in Call of Duty.
We'll see what it's like. But if they're testing out a big map, like a big open map, so I wonder if that's going to be a prelude to a battle royale mode later on. I hope so. Yeah, Rainbow Six Siege, a game that came out in 2015, I want to say, and it's still getting huge content updates. Great game. All right. Wait, what's this? Rob's asking, explain the season stuff for Rainbow Six. If you have the base, you can still... Yeah, it's a game you can... Technically, if you don't care about time, you can buy the starter edition, which is €15, or it's going to be half price in a few days. And technically, you can have all the operators. You can unlock all the operators, but it will take you about 20 hours per operator because of how high it is. Or you can buy the season pass. That'll give you it at a really... Like, you can unlock it within an hour or two. Based on the credits that you get. But like I say, you can use the season pass if you want, and you can use real money to unlock them, or you can just work and unlock them yourself. Entirely up to you, which I like. There's been a lot of flack for the zombie mode that's coming out because it's just a limited time event, and you can only get the cosmetics through paid currency, which a lot of people are angry at. But they said, oh well, actually, there are only 50 unique cosmetic items, and you can you get one, and you're going to get no duplicates. So technically, if you want to buy 50 of those packs, it's going to cost you €100. So if you want every single one of those cosmetics, you're going to have to put €100 into the game, which people are not happy with, which I can see. All the rest of the cosmetic stuff though, you can unlock by playing in game.
But it's a good business, so it's all good.
Makes business. It's cosmetics.
Business.
All right, Jordan, you've been playing Injustice 2. Why?
Yeah, fucking A. Wow. So
It looks amazing.
It's fucking incredible. So who knew, right? Who fucking knew? Apparently, a lot of people, because I went and looked at the reviews, and this game is reviewed really well. I'm not even sure why I fucking bought this game. I played. For people that don't know, Injustice is the fighting game. I think it's made by the same guys as Mortal Kombat, right? It's kind of they do like an on-off cycle with Mortal Kombat with Injustice right now, I think. So it's like a DC fighting game. There's a whole strain of comics that kind of underline this stuff in the same name. The first game was decent, I remember, and I played through the campaign on the first one, and the whole story of it is basically Joker manages to Joker drugs Superman. Superman kills Lois Lane, which breaks Superman, and he says, "Fuck this! These humans are dicks." And actually, instead of me just being this superhero, I'm actually going to become a fascist, and I'm going to insist that that they don't fuck around. And he creates like a global world order, and he takes over this world. And then, but that's in a different dimension from the standard DC place. Something happens in the first one which takes up the people that we know in terms of Batman and whatever into this other dimension, and they need to fight against Superman's regime, which kind of sets up why you've got Batman fighting Superman and whatever else. So kind of very comic booky stuff. And this second one, as far as I can tell, I've finished the campaign. The campaign is a huge step up from the first one. It looks incredible. The cutscenes are so fucking good. I don't know if they've done some kind of mocap on the faces, but like just seeing Harley Quinn and Superman and whoever else like talk to each other, it just like it's worth playing through it. It's only going to take you like 3-4 hours to get through the campaign, but it's worth doing it just to see these cutscenes. If like I'm not a massive comic book guy, but I kind of like comics and I prefer DC to Marvel, so for me it was decent. And then the fighting stuff is pretty cool too. Like I'm not massively into fighting games. The only one that I'm any good at is Smash Brothers, and this is not Smash Brothers. This is kind of very much a Mortal Kombat esque fighting game. So on a 2-dimensional plane, you got your uppercuts and all that kind of business. But for me, it was pretty accessible. I managed to get through the campaign without real difficulty playing on the normal mode, and it feels pretty weighty in terms of the fighting. And this game does a really good job of putting peripheral stuff around that. So typically, if I play a game like this, I do the campaign once and then I'm done because I don't get competitive with it. There's a lot of single-player content with this stuff. It's got a lot of loot boxes. There's 4 different gradings of loot boxes. It goes from bronze to silver to gold to like diamond, and then I think even another one on top of that as well.
Can you lock them just
and
by
then-
playing? Oh yeah, you're gonna say sorry.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So and you can so all the characters have different pieces of armor, so you can customize the way they look by unlocking armor, and also shaders and things like that, which I've never really seen in a game like this. It's very much like the Destiny-ification of fighting games, but if it's going to give more value for somebody like me that just plays through a campaign with this stuff and just wants to play single player, I'm all for it. I paid about 20 quid for this. I couldn't recommend paying like 40 quid or whatever it's supposed to be, but for that price, just to go through the campaign, and then I'll probably get a few more hours just fucking around with wherever other single player content is in there. I can't recommend it enough.
Are you playing?
I'm playing on Steam. Yeah. I'm guessing it looks good on the consoles, but it looks especially good running on PC.
So.
It looks so fucking good. Like those, and it's a good story as well. Like I haven't got a clue who half these characters are. There's obviously a lot of history to DC, and like this tiger woman just shows up, and there's this massive gorilla guy who knows what the fuck is going on.
If you ask a nerd, it's probably 10 mistakes the first 10 hours and the first 10 minutes.
It's kind of genius what they've done. So once you finish the campaign, there's a mode which is like infinite universe mode or whatever, and they're just like straight up. There's fucking infinite Earths with infinite superheroes. So therefore, and they say to you, they're like, so therefore, there's infinite possibilities, and it puts up a screen in front of you, all these different Earths, and they've all got like numbers associated with them, and they're like, on this one, Wonder Woman's being a dick, and you need to go into the same bar that you fought in 100 times during the campaign, and you need to kick her ass for some reason. It's like, yeah, cool. I was going to kick Wonder Woman's ass and get some loot. But it's just the presentational value for me. Really took me by surprise. I didn't expect it. I was expecting to go through and just get a kind of half-assed story, and kind of enjoy the fighting and then put it away. But it's really surprised me.
Yeah, I remember when it came out, everyone was just even I was amazed by how well it looked, and I was kind of tempted to, but I'm not a big fan of I'm not a fighting game person, which is. I've recently been listening to the Giant Bomb cast, and all they've been talking about is Dragon Ball FighterZ, and I've got like no interest whatsoever in that, but I know people do.
Yeah,
and
I kind of want to try that because I heard some good stuff.
It seemed accessible. Like I'm not one to learn like combos and whatever. I've basically worked out. It's got the whole, if you do right down, and then a button, you tend to do like a projectile, kind of like Street Fighter-esque, and the moves seem to be fairly consistent between people. They do obviously different things based on their powers, but you kind of know whoever you're playing as. If you press a certain button, you're going to do a particular kind of move. They've got these super moves in there. If you pull down the 2 triggers, they're fucking awesome. Like I've seen them like 10 times already because they've only got one, but the shit they like it's outrageous. It'll be so I play as Superwoman a lot, and if you do the special for her, she fucking uppercuts the person, takes them into space, drags them around the sun, and then throws them back at the earth. And that's one of the less outlandish ones. The Flash runs so fast that he takes them back in time. He throws you into the face of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and then goes back to the present, throws the person at himself because they are in the past. And that does damage to them as well.
It's amazing.
It's fucking insane.
But
And
when you see things like that, you know that the guy that made it had fun, and it just makes the game better.
Does not take itself seriously at all. It knows.
Yeah.
Like I said, the whole conceit of what it's doing is like, oh fuck it. There's just infinite worlds, and you're gonna fight each other, and you're gonna get weird people fighting other weird people. It's fine.
When did you buy it? Because it's there's a big discount. Oh, there was. I like how that. I've just had a look. It's £55, and it's like previous special offer price was £38. Oh, okay.
So I bought it where I buy a lot of my PC games on Instant Gaming something or another.
Yeah.
Just like a British site, which I recommend for PC games. They haven't done me wrong. And yeah, I think I paid about 22 quid, which, yeah, if you can get it for 20 quid or less, that's totally the sweet spot for this.
Yeah.
Unless if you're into fighters, then.
Have you played any multiplayer?
No.
No.
I never will.
You get your ass handed to you.
I don't want to be embarrassed by.
But I just what's Brawl, the Nintendo fighting game?
Smash Brothers Melee.
Yeah. how are the combos? Because you said that you're not into combos that much. Because
No, I'm
I'm
not.
not either, and I really want to try those games. Are they really hard to learn all the combos?
So you mentioned Smash, but I assume you've played Smash Brothers.
No, I haven't played Smash.
Oh, okay. So like Smash
I
Brothers.
played Smash when I was 10 years old.
Yeah, so Smash Bros is totally different to these type of games. These were like this one seems quite accessible, but still, if you go into the menu, there's a lot of button combinations you can press, and I'm pretty sure that if you were to play someone that knew what they were doing, you would not get away with kind of fighting with them at all. They would just destroy you. Whereas Smash Brothers is kind of more kind of straightforward in a way, but also there's a lot more kind of freedom to it, a lot more kind of mechanics. I wouldn't really classify.
I
Phones
was
on
just
silent,
smashing buttons,
please.
I remember. But is there like combos in Smash?
Yeah, to find as in a button combination to get to do a move.
Yeah.
No. So
Okay.
like Smash Brothers is just you've got your main attack, which is A. If you press a direction with A and hold it down, you'll charge your smash attack. Or you can just kind of press it once and do a smash attack, but it won't be as powerful. B tends to map to something specific to that character in terms of a power. So with Link, for instance, if you press B, he shoots his bow. If you press a direction with B, like he'll pull a bomb out or he'll do his boomerang, something like that. And every character, if you press up and B, has a third jump. So you can double jump, and then up and B will be some kind of power based whatever that character does. So for instance with Link, he does like a helicopter maneuver with his sword, which doubles as a third jump to give you kind of some kind of vertical leverage, but it's also an attack. Yeah
Okay, awesome.
So and they just that it doesn't like this is Street Fighter essentially, or Mortal Kombat, it's that kind of game.
Second game, yeah, sure.
But there's no real logic in terms of the button combinations that you press, and it's a password to unlock a particular move, and then the skill comes with knowing when to deploy that move, I guess.
Oh, cool.
Are you looking forward to getting Bayonetta 1 and 2 on the Switch next week?
Yeah.
I'm going to give that a go. That's fun.
I never played Bayonetta. Is it worth? Because I can buy it on Xbox.
I think
Is it
for
worth it? I
Probably
never
get on
played.
Steam. Like I've got the first one on Steam. The second one, my approach would probably be get it cheap on Steam, play the first one. If you really enjoy it, then you've got no choice but to play the second one on Switch. Oh, you.
Because it's like a mayhem version of God of War, isn't it?
It's kind of a Devil May Cry-esque game. I would probably compare it more to that, like action.
Yeah.
What is that genre? Like an action
Hack and slash. No.
Yeah.
Look forward to giving it a go. In the chat, Hongard has just finished the B side of level 2 of Celeste and says that his what did he say? He I can't feel my left hand thanks to Celeste chapter 2 B side. Yeah, I felt like that when I was playing the last boss of Shadow of the Colossus. So with like Celeste C side,
That's a brain
B side.
hemorrhage.
Yeah. Sideways Back asks, Malicious or Shadows of the Colossus? I've never heard of Malicious. It's a boss-only game with vibrant colours and heavy action gameplay on the PS3. Any of you played it?
Never heard of it.
Do we have phones on silent, maybe? Maybe, Andre?
What's up? Oh, I'm sorry.
Perfect silence.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute.
I am literally canceling the date right now. I feel so.
Because of this podcast, because you're enjoying it. You want to be.
So
It's we can you can go, Andre. You don't have to stick. You don't have to cancel the date just because you want to stick around for the end of this podcast.
Oh no, the date isn't until like way later on. Please, I would not. I would rather get fucking.
Americans don't get sarcasm. Do
I'd
they?
rather go to my vasectomy than fucking stay here and fucking talk to you guys. But what's it called? Dude? It's.
we love you too.
I just feel so gross.
He's
right
definitely
now.
Manny's brother.
Oh, man. I hate you guys.
All right, has anyone else played any games? I think a couple of
Malicious looks really fun.
Yeah, I still haven't heard of it. I haven't seen it. Yeah, I think one of you should play Rhyme. It's free on PS Plus.
I got it on the PlayStation, so I'm going to test it out soon.
It's terrible timing for them with Shadow of the Colossus just coming out.
Yeah.
I know it's different, but that game was very much. I remember looking at that game before it was released and thinking, oh, okay, obviously The Last Guardian's faltered. this is another company trying to do something like that, and it came out and I think people kind of liked it, but now
Yeah.
like Shadow of the Colossus has been remastered.
When
and I
was
think
it released? Because it wasn't released now.
Ooh,
Is
less
it,
than a year ago.
Is this? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It
it's
was
just come on
good.
PS Plus.
I enjoyed it, and I didn't get bored before the end, which is always a good sign. It like has every game I could compare it to. It does it better than Rime, but it still is like a really good. It's Journey, but with puzzles and sneaking around.
I can't be fucked. I'm not going to play it ever.
No, but give it a go. It's really beautiful, and it's got a really interesting kind of story to it. And right at the end, and you'll have a little tear. It's great. Okay, should we move on?
I'll try it.
Yeah, I think it's
Don't
like
do it, Melum, it's
you can do
crap.
it in a day. You can do it in a day and enjoy it. All right, let's go into.
Suddenly I'm sitting there playing. No, never mind.
That malicious video game had terrible reviews, by the way. It was on the Vita.
I was going to say I'll go out on a limb and say the Shadow of the Colossus is better if that was the question.
Yeah, go for Shadow of the
Better than
Colossus.
Rime?
Yeah, go for that. And thanks for the follow, Dyke Sabaru. Sideways back says Rime for the win. Yeah, Rime is a good one. Let's go into the news.
Start spreading the news.
Click, 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 play.
It's time for the news. Time for the news. News, York. Jordan, what's in the news? Oh, in fact, you missed a bit of the news. You missed the most exciting bit of news.
I didn't miss it, Ben. You say this every week. Didn't miss it. I chose not to include it. But go on.
Crash Bandicoot remaster may be coming to the Switch and PC. Switch!
Yeah,
Crash
so
Bandicoot on the Switch.
So
What?
if I included that caliber of news, we'd have a lot more on our agenda. Yeah. I curate this stuff. I don't forget the news. I curate the news.
Yeah.
I'll kick off. So last week we talked about we got a release date for Red Dead Redemption, albeit a little bit later than what we hoped. So that's out in October. But this week there's been quite a substantial leak, and it seems fairly valid. People tend to believe it, and nothing that's being said seems out of the ordinary. The main takeaways, it talks a lot about the kind of game that they've built and the way the AI is going to work. And one thing that excited me was around like shopkeepers will kind of decorate their stores throughout the day and then take things down at night and stuff like that. And that, it's quite a small detail, but it's that kind of stuff that I'll always remember with San Andreas and then GTA 4, kind of reading up about those games before they were released and reading people's impressions and how they described how the NPCs interacted with each other in the world and getting excited about that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because GTA 5 has been such a success on current gen consoles, it's easy to forget that Red Dead Redemption 2 is the first time Rockstar has released a current gen game. And my hope is that they do push things forward. I think we're all, at least I am, fairly kind of bored with the way that GTA 5 kind of works and the way the AI works in that one. And hopefully it does move forward a little bit. So we'll see what happens with that. But the big takeaways of the leak are that this game will have a battle royale mode
Hey.
as part of its online component.
Mm.
I suppose
Sure.
it's not surprising at all.
No.
I doubt you'll jump out of a plane.
No, that'd be interesting. Oh, a big catapult.
There was a
Send them
plane in
flying.
the first one, but it was like one of the first ever planes ever. It was one of those weird ones that you don't know if it's actually going to fly. You have to push off a cliff and see.
And this one takes place before that one, right?
Yeah, this is like totally. Whereas the first one was on the edge of the Wild West ending, this is very much.
It'll probably just be an air balloon. I'm calling it.
It's a hot air balloon. There's also a first-person mode, which when I read it, I was like, "Oh, cool!" And then I'm like, "Well, that's not surprising because GTA 5 had that too."
Yeah.
At least in terms of the remaster. So yeah, it totally makes sense. Hopefully, like GTA 5 always felt a bit janky with the first person stuff. Hopefully that feels really cool because I would love to play this game totally in first person if possible. Like I always prefer the first person option if it works properly. So yeah, leaks. Any questions on Red Dead Redemption 2 leaks? Are we surprised about the Battle Royale mode?
I'll give it a go.
I heard so many wanted this, so I guess this is the greatest ever.
It's gonna be interesting, finding horses.
It feels a bit odd for Rockstar to kind of copy another company in this way. That's not their typical style. And it's worth
Isn't
saying
there a
that this is
battle royale in in
GTA Online. They did some kind. Yeah, I suppose that's right. So they did some kind of mode with GTA 5, so it makes sense for them to put that into Red Dead as well. I guess.
Yeah, and everybody has been waiting for a AAA company to make a battle royale.
And you know that, and this is gonna be one
Didn't
that
think it would be Rockstar, but
this will
Yeah,
be
but
okay as well
it's
because they're gonna have
awesome, I guess.
they'll have a huge player base, and this is not going to be unless I don't know. I doubt it'll be a free version of it. Like, hey, you can play it for free. I don't think they'll
But
do
does
that.
this mean that it's gonna be a PC game or just a PlayStation game?
I bet it will eventually come to PC.
Because it can't catch on, I guess, if it's PlayStation. Yeah, it will catch on for the story and single player, but for the battle royale mode.
Yeah, how would it be? Like maybe it'll be 50 or 25. Well, might not be a full 100 per lobby. It was interesting. We were playing a game called we didn't mention it, but we're playing a game called Islands of Nine, which is in its alpha right now. And we were in a lobby, and there were only 18 out of 100 people in the lobby, and they just made the area where you play really small. So they just sent everybody in, 18 people, and just made it a small area, which I thought was a really cool idea.
So
They could do.
So with the Red Dead Battle Royale mode, how are they gonna do the whole circle thing?
Sandstorm.
Sandstorm.
Yeah, that would actually be a good idea.
Maybe a storm like Fortnite.
Don't you think?
Yeah,
Okay.
Or just have a bunch of Indians standing on the.
getting
Like,
closer.
No,
But
but
I don't mean
think
the
that's
red
racist
circle. I mean,
now.
like, how will they do the gradual decline of the map? I guess.
Yeah,
Buffalo.
but maybe as Ben said, like a
Sandstorm.
Or,
Well, the entire map is a sandstorm, other than the small circle.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just say fuck it and just put a circle on the map and they're like, all right, it's closing.
But remember Red Dead Redemption had like that zombie nightmare, so they could just do something really out there. They could have like a I don't know, an electric shield that comes around, or like into the dome kind of style. I don't know. They could do
But I
whatever they
have
want.
actually been waiting for a battle royale game to just take the easy way out and actually just have it's a forest fire or something, and the fire is just moving in. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be
Why is
like
that the
a
easy way?
circle. No, but it's like it's just sci-fi with the other ones. Like it's coming a dome, or
But
it's a storm coming with electric storm.
Just imagine if it's a forest fire, and because it gets closer and closer, like the visibility gets really bad. And at the end, you're just playing in like you can only see about 2 meters in front of you because of the heavy smoke. Just to add to the tension at the
It
end.
doesn't have to be like a perfect circle either.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Just getting a line.
You'd have to be taking damage, I guess. Otherwise, you would just camp out in the storm.
Yeah, I think fire actually hurts people.
It's not the smoke. It's not the fire that kills. It's the smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next bit of news, and again, it's a rumor.
I hope this is true.
So, the company that put together the Metal Gear Solid HD collection for PS3 and Vita on their website have advertised that that's coming to PS4. So it could just be a mistake. It could be like a clerical mistake. But a lot of people have jumped on this and assumed eventually Metal Gear Solid collection will come to PS4. Now, I've been campaigning for this for quite a while. I don't necessarily want the collection that's already been released because that doesn't include 2 key games. I need Metal Gear Solid and I need
1,
Metal
2,
Gear
3?
Solid 4. We want 1, 2, 3, 4 is what we need. If I had to put money on it, I would say this is probably true because why wouldn't Konami are clearly just in the game right now of just making money on what they've got, i.e. Metal Gear Survive. So why wouldn't they release the collection? I guess. It's a shame that it won't get the love, like we've already talked about, how Shadow of the Colossus had such love in terms of a remaster, remake, and sort of Crash Bandicoot. It's a shame that the Metal Gear guys won't get that, but I suppose without Kojima on board, do you really want them meddling with it? So if we can get it at, either 1080p or 4K, 60 frames a second across the board, happy days. I don't know if I trust Konami to put the money in to develop it correctly, and I worry that something's going to go wrong with it, but it should be fairly straightforward because you've already got the collection on PS3.
Speaking of Metal Gear Survive, did you see the news? There's going to be a new beta next week.
I did.
On PC as well. This will be the first time you can do it on PC.
So
I really want to test it now.
Yeah.
It intrigued me what you guys said about it.
It starts on the 16th, which is when Bayonetta comes out as well.
Yes, I managed
Is
to
there
buy
a
it for
Bayonetta game coming out?
But it comes out on the
Didn't know.
20th. It comes out on the 21st. So it's only like this is like 2 days after the beta test. This is going to be interesting. Like, what if it goes, oh, it's broken? Shit. Nah, this is just like a demo, I think.
So I think this collection probably will happen, but for some weird reason, I don't think 4 will come out. So my plan is now on that PS3 that I bought with the Metal Gear games, I'm just going to skip straight to 4 because I've only played through 4 twice when it first came out. So I want to play that, and then I'll wait and see what happens with this collection and potentially pay it on PS. Steam would be the fucking ideal if we can get this on Steam so that we're done and dusted and we've got the classic Metal Gear games in our Steam collections. That'll be the ideal.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it'll be a thing where it comes out on PS4 first and then potentially down the line comes out on
Survive's
PC.
coming out on PC straight away.
What is the fourth? Is that after 2, or is it before? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So 4 ends the Solid Snake saga.
So it's 3, 1, 2, 4.
Chronologically, you've got
Oh god, here we go. Sit back.
in terms of Metal Gear Solid, 3.
God.
If you obviously you've got Metal Gear 1 and 2 as well.
Make them talk.
But yeah, it goes.
And 5 is disqualified.
Asking for the PDF.
Well, it's not a numbered game, is it? It's V. So that happens before Metal
What?
Gear. So that's after 3.
Hey, shut the
4
fuck up. That's number 5.
It's not number 5. It isn't. It's Metal Gear V.
What does the V stand for?
V has
Venom.
Venom.
Doesn't V stand for 5?
Yeah.
Well, it's a Kojima game, so it stands for a lot of things, but
Yeah.
it's Metal Gear Venom. Thank you.
Cool.
So the next bit of news is I love Metal Gear so much. And that's not just the brandy talking. So the next bit of news is that GTA 5. I love talking about GTA 5, specifically around the sales numbers, right?
Uh-oh.
This shit gets me off. So let me. I've already fucking declared this stuff to you guys over this last week, but I just want to give you some fucking numbers. Yeah, GTA 5 lifetime sales. Yeah, 90 million units sold of that game.
It's sick.
3 of those are mine.
In 2017, Metal Gear Solid.
Uh-oh.
Grand
5.
Theft
Metal Gear Solid 5. You were going to say Metal Gear Solid 5.
I wish the Metal Gear Solid 5 sold 90 million. GTA 5 in 2017 sold 15 million copies. It was
I
one of
didn't
the
know
top
that it
selling
was that
games.
many nerds in the world.
Yeah, it's because they'll get banned from hacking and then they have to buy it again.
How fucking insane is that? 90 million. We talk about like when these news stories come around of like it's always like Square and they're like, oh well, the new Tomb Raider game didn't sell as much as we wanted. We wanted it to sell 6 million and it sold 4. And then this game sold fucking 90 million.
I want another one. It's a great game.
I want another
You'll
one.
get another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
no.
I think I only have that on PlayStation 3 actually. It was released on PlayStation 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was released on those systems first, and then like a year later, it came out on the newer systems.
I
Yeah,
bought it
yeah,
They made
then.
all their money. And then they released it on PC,
Yeah.
which is
And it's
insane.
the online stuff. Like I think this game probably would have sold. Yeah, it would have sold 30-40 million.
Yeah,
units,
Melum,
but
if
it's
you get
the
it on
online
PC,
stuff
we
that's
can
the legs.
play. I've got it on PC. I bought it on PS3, and then I bought a PS4 and thought, well, this will look great on PS4. Bought it on the PS4. Then, oh, I've got a PC, gaming PC now. I can buy it on PC.
Fuck
I
yeah.
was smart and actually waited for Last of Us to play it on PS4.
Me too.
So, quick question: do we think we'll see GTA 6 on PS4?
No.
That's crazy, isn't it? That there'll be an entire generation, and I probably agree with you. I think, well, thinking about it, you'd think they do the smart thing and straddle the generations again, because clearly, you know, that's
That
worked out
works.
really well. But
Mm,
we'll see, I guess. I suppose if we're getting, it could work. So if we're getting Red Dead this year,
Mhm.
I'm assuming they're already hard at work on GTA 6. I hope they're already hard at work on GTA 6.
Probably.
So potentially 2020, you could get GTA 6, and then a year later it comes out on PS5.
When are people talking about PlayStation 5 coming out?
2020, 2021.
yeah, I can see that.
Sounds about right.
I think Red Dead's going to be their thing for the next couple of years.
I hope so.
Yeah, I don't want a GTA 6. Actually, I just want Red Dead.
Yeah, I had some problems with GTA 5 in terms of tone, but hopefully they can fix that.
It was a fun story for an open world game, I guess.
It's a fucking beautiful world, an amazing engine. I just think the whole shtick of the whole comedy shtick that they do,
Trevor?
self-deprecating American stuff, don't necessarily. I think they just took it too far. You can they've got this photorealistic city, and you're driving down, and there's this billboard, there's a penis joke, and it's like, okay, I get it.
You haven't been to America, clearly.
I haven't.
It's realistic.
It's a joke.
Yeah, it's a documentary. I hope they do. Like, I would really love GTA 6 to be GTA London.
Yeah.
But
Or
then
Barcelona. Send it to Barcelona. Perfect.
no fucking car.
Barcelona is
There's too many cars here. It's one of the most polluted cities in Europe.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to get out of this podcast really quick. I don't feel well. I'm just gonna lay down for a couple of hours.
Yeah, get well,
Yeah.
dude.
Get
I
well
thought I could make
soon.
it. I am like dying right now. Ugh.
You go and
Let me say my piece on Grand Theft Auto. It sucks. Everyone who plays it sucks. Bye. All right.
bye.
guys
See you
later.
next week. Have fun.
See ya.
Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.
Oh, thank God. Right. Oh, now we've got some class. European podcast now.
Yeah, finally.
Finally.
Speak for yourself. So,
Oh, yeah.
Are you European?
I'm peeing.
Still European. Let's not confuse that. So, the last two bits of news, kind of minor stuff. So, what I thought was quite cool, this Nintendo Gold stuff that you get when you buy like Nintendo games on the digital store.
Mine are expiring. The ones that I got from when I first got a Switch are expiring apparently.
Yeah, I got those emails too.
Yeah, like, what?
And then I looked at what I could buy, and they were like, you can buy an avatar or something, like a forum avatar. So those coins that you can get for buying into the Nintendo ecosystem, soon you'll be able to cash those in on games that you buy, which is pretty cool. Like, I'm assuming you get fuck all for what you spend, but just as a principle, I think that's pretty cool that they've got this reward system and you can plow it straight back into games. I like that.
Yeah. What happened to the PlayStation one? The, like, for getting platinum trophies and stuff, you could get vouchers. Has that happened?
Good point. I don't think that's happened yet, is it?
No, they should do rewards because I'm, encourage people to pay. Although it's actually, it's not just you get those rewards whether you buy it digitally or physical. But like, it'd be great if they did reward systems. I like reward systems. Tesco Club Card kind of thing where you get points.
I hate them. I don't carry any of these cards around. I don't do any of that stuff. But something like this, where like I buy digital all my games anyway. Like, fuck yeah, if you're gonna give me some money back, happy days. Like, even if it's pence, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
Last bit of news is that the glorious Monster Hunter World is apparently Capcom's fastest selling game ever. So good for them. They're doing really well with it.
Yeah.
Good for them.
I'm not surprised with the hype.
Yeah. People are still really in love with that game.
And I understand it so well. But
we had a host earlier from Toki, Zillitung, and he was really into it. I was watching him play it earlier, him in May. But there's a lot of people love that game. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking maybe Dauntless is more for me.
I agree with what Melham said in terms of I think there's going to be a lot of people that because of the hype train and the sales volume this game is seeing. I think there are going to be people who are like just drop off it straight away.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily think they're going to, they're going to.
No, it's just going to be a hate train. I didn't mean that, but
Yeah, I think anybody that's invested in online gaming culture is probably going to enjoy the game anyway. So like, I don't think there'll be a hate thing because I think I think what you mean is there'll be a casual level of gamer that will potentially buy this game that will bounce off it and just trade it back in, I guess, as opposed to actually playing through it.
But also like in every, because that's the genius thing about a game that requires so much grinding. Because if you have grinded for 100 hours, you have to like the game. You can't.
You want to like the game, yeah.
You want
to wasting your time.
Yeah, because
I just wish it was simple.
Or else you say that you're stupid.
I wish some of it was a bit simpler. Like, just you could squad up with someone and you could go and select missions. You could do, they were called side missions, main missions. Just make it a bit easier than that, than all this random crap.
I do think as much as they've tried to make it accessible, and by all reports this is the most accessible one, there's definitely a lot of baggage that has come with this game that I feel they can't shrug off because veterans of the game wouldn't allow them to. And something that you said during the week kind of resonated with me. When I was playing through Shadow of the Colossus, and obviously I've got kind of recent context of Monster Hunter in the background. You know, I've been playing that quite a lot recently. I did think to myself, it'd be really fucking cool to play a minimalistic game like this, but kind of like Monster Hunter, where it's open world and there's these monsters here, and none of these fucking, you know, these matrices of skills and numbers and all this kind of stuff. You have to go out and just do the physicality stuff to hunt that monster. And I thought that, and then you said that you'd like to see a Shadow of the Colossus Monster Hunter game, and I totally agree. I think that could be amazing.
No, because that's the thing with Monster Hunter. When I play it, I feel like the combat is so limited. With you can just do these things within the frames of the rules of the game, and you can't just. I don't know. It's hard to have an independent play style. You just have to follow the style of the game and follow the rules, and it's so strict.
I'm still enjoying it. Like I felt like I was potentially going to bounce off about a week ago, and then I had a really good session on it in the week, and I got to a new place, like a new world, and I hunted like quite a small monster as part of the story on that, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to stick with it, but there are a lot of things about the game that I worry about in terms of the whole, like, you need to, like, if you're going to go hunt this particular monster, you need to wear this particular type of armor. That isn't how I play games. I don't like to spec my character to go and do a particular mission or hunt or whatever it might be. I like to have the gear that I like and continually improve that, as opposed to, like, I never have multiple gear sets set up, if that makes sense.
Because that's the thing with games like this, is it's just you want to have more option. You want the option to what's the word when you make it more private or more in just your kind of way?
Customization.
Yeah, the customization is just you don't want to follow a rule that you have to do this to do that to do that. You want
And I'm hoping that it's only if you want to maximize. Like, you know,
I guess it's also much better after you finish the story and stuff. It's probably much better than.
So I'm kind of hoping that actually you can, and I think my impression is it probably is the case that actually, you know what, you know, you can go and do whatever, you can wear whatever armor you want, and you can have whatever weapon you want, and you can still pretty much go and do whatever you want. But if if you're looking to do this in a particular time frame, or, you know, you're part of a group that is really fucking on this, and, you know, they don't want you kind of slowing them down, then you're going to want to change those armor sets up and stuff like that. I'm hoping it caters to somebody that, like me, who, like, in a relative scale, in terms of that stuff, I'm very casual when it comes to this. I want to just have a good, enjoyable time, and right now I find it's a pretty relaxing game for me, weirdly. I'm still it's so weird that I'm 25 hours. I've got 25 hours on that clock, and again, I still feel like I'm in the opening section of that game. I've just got you know, it's still throwing me tutorials every 5 minutes, and I like that. You know, it makes me think that, as much as I pay, you know, it's a console game, I paid full price for it. There's a lot of stuff that it's given me. There's a lot of time that I'm managing to waste on this game. But well, hope it's potentially going to be a game that I play for 500 hours. It's potentially going to be a game that I've played for 25 and I drop off to 35. We'll see.
Interesting, because they keep adding DLC in the old one, so maybe they'll do that and make it a bit more interesting. I don't know. I don't know. Are you gonna ever go back to it, Melon? You ever fancy some?
Probably, but if I'm going back, I'm gonna try to fast pace solo on the story.
Yeah, I get that.
And go co-op when we're done.
Yeah,
because it's just gonna annoy me to go back and forth all the time. And
yeah, it's
the thing is, because the thing with games like that, you have to feel the progression. Or else you get bored pretty fast, and if you do things really slowly like we did, you're gonna miss out on that progression, and that destroys the game for many, I think. I
might go through it and just like get co-op, but just like invite people in to do a 4-man, because it's so much faster if you do 4-man, because you always get some people that like really OP. I think the one thing
that's totally the way I'm playing it.
But it is scaling, isn't it?
Yeah, but 4-player still it goes down a lot faster, I find.
Yeah.
So somebody was in the chat when I was playing, was saying, "Oh, I wish they'd have health bars. And I don't mind
Oh.
not having health bars. I like not having health bars, but when you've got and I don't mind bullet sponge enemies. Like I love the Division, but when you've got like a massive bullet sponge enemy, you've got no health bars and you've got a time limit on there as well. It can really that sometimes winds me up a little bit when I've never got close to like not making it in the time limit, but I think if I was playing it solo, I might do with a few of the
Yeah.
weapons that I'm not used to.
It's a stylistic thing that I'm assuming the game has always had. It's
Yeah.
probably one of those things that I talked about in terms of pre-existing baggage that the games. I think if they put life bars on those monsters, I'm pretty sure the hardcore crowd would not
They'd
appreciate
hate it. No,
Mm.
they would. And if the
Yeah,
battles were
it
5
wouldn't
minutes,
catch on. You have to understand that this is the Call of Duty of Japan. This is the
yeah.
but it
yeah,
is.
right.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
totally. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
But-
you can't mess up the formula.
You can still
Japanese
have
are just so much better at games than us.
It's just that some of these battles though that take like 25, 30, 35 minutes, but Shadow of the Colossus you get to kill one of those enemies in like 5-10 minutes maybe, and it still feels like an epic battle. I just think sometimes I get a bit bored
Yeah.
playing it.
But
But that's like a
they're
challenge.
radically different games. Like,
Oh yeah, that's like
there's-
they're puzzle
you can't
games.
Shadow of the
compare
Colossus
those
is
games.
a at most 10-hour experience. This is fucking 10 hours into Monster Hunter World. What the fuck was I doing? Like I was probably still customizing my character or something.
Yeah, I still don't know about these
Um,
research points and all this stuff. I'm going to go back to Monster Hunter World. I think I want to play a bit this week. Maybe play it on my 4K TV, see what it looks like on there.
By the way, Shadow of the Colossus feels like the perfect. If I ever gonna go into speed runs, that's the game.
You
Yeah,
did really well. I thought that
3
the
hours.
hard mode run was really fucking impressive. I thought that time because isn't the aim to do that in like 5 hours or something? That's the
Yeah, I got it in just under 4 hours.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna do it a lot faster now because I have on normal I have every boss on around 5 minutes.
Is there a way
So-
to like? I noticed the game doesn't record your time when you pause and stuff. If you fuck up on a boss, can you restart and it doesn't take that time into account, or is that just time lost?
I think it includes that in the time.
That'd be really frustrating because those games they're really
But-
physical. Like there's a lot of physics going on. Sometimes things happen, and it's like it's like sometimes the creature will just shake longer than you want him to, and you're like, "Stop fucking shaking! I'm gonna fall off you." And then you do, and then it can get quite frustrating. So I
I
imagine
didn't
if
understand that you have to counter with the sticks when it's moving.
what?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't.
if you counter with it all the time, you won't get thrown that much.
Shut up.
I didn't know that.
Me neither.
What?
It's like
Okay.
a game change.
No.
Yeah,
I've got to go.
Yeah,
yeah.
gonna give it a go. That's gonna make it a lot
Jesus
faster. I didn't know that either.
Christ.
So that makes everything so much faster. Also, so that 4-hour run I had on hard, that was without knowing that.
So what? When a monster's shaking, you just move the analog stick left and right.
Yeah, or up and down, or whatever.
So whichever way it shakes, you've got to
It's
do
really
the
hard.
opposite.
It's
or-
really hard to master those. It's
How
really
do you,
hard.
and that's confirmed. You know, this is definitely the case.
Yeah. I talked with. I don't remember his name, but it's like the biggest speedrunner in the world. And I talked with him about the game because he just started to speedrun it again because he speedrunned the original and has the record.
Nice.
And I was
Blow
like,
my mind.
how do you get your footing back all the time? How are you keep stabbing and stabbing and stabbing? And he was like, dude, you just have to counter with
'Cause
sticks.
a lot of times those monsters, it feels like they know like they know that you're gonna get if you do it right, you'll get 3 stabs in on this one spot. That spot will go away, and then they want you to fall off that beast. You have to get back on again.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh god, what a game!
You know the flying one in the desert, the big one.
Yeah.
So that kind of resets, doesn't it? Because it goes into the
Yeah,
sand. Can you-
but I can now do it on one go.
Ow.
Okay.
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
But you'll always reset. There's no way to stop him from doing that reset. No.
No, but it's a timing thing, and also, yeah,
I guess it's where you because you can deflate him at different points. I guess it's where you
yeah. But
Where you kinda board him, I
I
guess.
think actually it's just about how fast you're doing it, and you have to every time his back is going up, you have to, boom, and then you jump, and then you get thrown back to the other.
Ah,
incredible.
Such
Yeah.
a well-made game.
Really fun to do.
I think it's really understated. It was the same in it's been in all 3 games. I think it's understated about the physicality of those games and the way they animate the character.
And
Like
you feel it while you play it. It's
like the ragdoll effects and stuff like that. You know, like it makes for some funny memes and some funny gifs when it
and
goes wrong. But
really frustrating sometimes.
yeah, because sometimes it doesn't feel like it's your fault. It feels like it's kind of what I was talking about earlier. It feels like you're a victim of physics.
Yes.
But there's something about the way they animate and the way the physics interact in those games, which is completely different to the way that other games do it. So special.
Nice. All right.
It really is.
You going to some questions?
Yeah.
Question time. We haven't done question time in a while. I've lost the button. Where is it? There it is.
Question time. Time to answer questions that happen in all of our minds. Question time. Leave it in the chat and we will answer it in due time. I know you.
Question time. All right. First question. Oh, this is a question from BiggusBennus. Do you consider video games to be an art? Because I was clicking on Shadow of the Colossus on the Wikipedia, trying to just look at a few things about it. And one thing was that he said it was like one of the video games that really defends the belief that video games are an art. And guess who said that they don't think video games are an art?
Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, Kojima. I was like, really? Of all the people, I'd expect he to be one that maybe. Well, his kind of works.
And did you see the way he elaborated on it? He compared it to a museum piece.
Oh.
So what he's saying is that
he's probably saying that like films and books aren't art, I guess.
Yeah,
is what I mean.
Well, no. So films and books are. So what he's saying is you could take a book or you could take a painting from the 1920s, yeah, and you could then bring it to the modern day, and still you could introduce it to somebody for the first time, and they could have the same reaction and appreciate that work in the same way that anybody else would have, you know, when it was actually made. The difference with video games, and he compares it to a museum, is that the way that video games are evolving, they become unpalatable to new users, which is completely right. So for me, the sweet spot for me is anything like when you get to like Master System, NES, Mega Drive, anything from there onwards, I can handle. Anything before that, I'm like, this is antiquated. It doesn't make sense to me. And you can obviously go back further than that. So then I'm 30, right? So if you look at somebody that's 15 now, if I was to give them some game that I played on the Master System or the NES, they'd be like, what the fuck is this? It doesn't make any sense to me. This doesn't speak to me. It isn't fun. And it's probably that fun thing, I guess. A lot of art, like a painting, like a book. You know, have you read The Road?
No, there's a film, isn't there?
There's a film of it as well, right? Not fun.
I've seen
not a fun book. Not a fun film. There's an intrinsic need in games. Realistically, if you're going to stick with something for for 5 hours plus, there needs to be an element of interaction and enjoyable interaction with it. Whereas you can actually, you could argue that looking at a painting, which is quite painful to look at because it might be quite emotional or whatever else, there doesn't need to be that enjoyability in it for it to become hard. I guess that's what he's getting at, and just and I think it'll even out, but just the rapid movement in terms of what video games are. They change so quickly, and they evolve. They evolve on top of each other. That somebody that grew up, imagine being somebody that Call of Duty Modern Warfare was your first video game, yeah? What are you going to think about? What are you going to think about Super Mario World? Are you necessarily going to like Super Mario World? Potentially not. Or probably a better example, what are you going to think about Doom or GoldenEye? You're not going to enjoy those games. So it's difficult to put them in the same category as a Blade Runner, which came out way before GoldenEye, but actually will be enjoyed by people of all ages because it's a film and because that's a very set medium and you can enjoy that differently.
But
I guess, to video games.
when did time become the concept of art?
It's not, but there's it isn't necessarily the time thing. It's the rapidly evolve. It's the fact that video games are an interactive medium, whereas pictures and films are passive. So that won't change, and there's no real. There is context, there's cultural context, but there's no.
But it invokes feelings just like art. So
Does, but to get to those feelings, you need to interact with it and want to interact with it. I'm sure.
I
that
don't agree, but I get it.
I think it's a sensationalist headline. Of anybody in the world, I'm pretty sure that Hideo Kojima thinks that video games are art. But I think he's drawing a difference between traditional art, i.e., pictures, movies, books, and I think I definitely think there's a difference there. There's absolutely a difference between the interactive medium that we have versus films, versus books, versus paintings.
This actually reminds me really, because Fumita Ueda, the maker of The Last Garden and The Colossus of so on, he in every like interview he has with fans and stuff, it's always like the fans ask questions like, okay, you do this in the game, and it makes a feeling here, and it seems like it has something to do with the universe of the story and stuff, so on and so on. People just find stuff in his stories all the time.
Yeah.
And his response is almost always like, no, it's nothing about that. It's just
cool.
It's just fun for me to do that.
Yeah, I read that like a lot of the time they asked
what it right away.
I see a lot of the time they ask him like, what does this mean about this? And he's just like, well, it's whatever you want it to mean. And he's like, he doesn't have it. He's just like, no, if any of those directors say, well, this is what I think it is, like he refuses to say what even, not the creator, but any of the directors, like they will not say what they think, because then it becomes kind of gospel.
Yeah.
All right.
It's English literature 101. Like people are trained to critique these things and to try and find meaning in every little thing. And a lot of the times that stuff isn't there. And I think that in a way that kind of illustrates the difference. As much like if you think about how much you can read into, so let's say a classic book, for instance, okay, a book that everybody agrees is a classic and people should read, but then look at the amount of understandings that will come out and interpretations that will come out of that book. That book is identical for every single person that reads that book. It's the same combination of letters and words in a particular format. To everybody that read that book read it in exactly the same way, and they managed to understand it in like thousands and thousands of different ways and have different interpretations on it. Then take video games, which is an interactive medium. You can experience, like, obviously it varies based on how linear the game is and the way that game's set up, but you could experience a game in a particular way, and somebody else played the exact same game and experienced something very, very different. And I think that kind of underlines where the difference is. It's that interactivity. But games are art, the best form, I would argue.
Absolutely. Interesting. Next question. Let's go to one from Michael Baldelli. Why are the devs at Digital Extreme shoehorning everything into their new open roam feature, which proves to be as buggy and poorly coded as Trials and Dark Sectors that they have temporarily put to rest?
Well, what's the context on this?
Digital Extreme, apparently there's a new open roam feature that proves to be as buggy and poorly. I think this is
Digital Extreme. Digital Extreme is a dev, I'm guessing.
I believe this is Warframe, possibly.
Right.
There's a. I think
what's
there's
the problem.
Have you played Warframe?
Yeah.
Apparently they've added something that's buggy and poorly coded.
Right.
Yeah. So why are they doing this?
I don't know.
They are testing out things because they have they had like a really sudden sprout of community in the game, I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess
there's been a lot of word of
testing
mouth
out.
about Warframe recently.
Oh, there's good, and I don't know if this is linked to it. I'm guessing it is. Why do devs and gaming producers work on the assumption that their gamers are 9-year-old men children whenever they think their agenda is better than what gamers are looking for?
Define agenda.
Yeah. I don't know. It depends. A lot of devs don't, and
What are we saying? Hand holding in terms of I'm talking about hand holding in terms of
Other-
people getting used to the game. Is that what we're talking about, or have I missed the point completely there?
I'm not sure. Let us know in the chat, Michael, if you want to expand on that. Other question we've got is, what genres in video games do you consider underrated? An underrated genre. Point and click.
Is there any? And because I feel like in games everything is overrated.
Yeah.
Point and click is overrated. I'm just going to put that there, Ben. Uh, and
Definitely.
And
similar
open
with-
worlds are overrated as fuck.
Yeah, they are.
for me, survival horror, because you don't see much of it anymore, but you still get them, you know.
Yeah, although it seems
I'm
like
not
the
much
first
inclined
person
about
ones, Resident Evil, like that probably didn't sell that well. I think we talked about it last week.
Yeah,
Didn't
and that's
sell.
what it comes down to is the money, I guess, isn't it?
For me, I think it's like linear, but it's not underrated. There's just many hates on it.
Yeah,
They
put it as a negative, don't they?
just like Uncharted, but everybody loves Uncharted. So
but there are some linear games people are like, oh, it's too linear.
The direction of the industry is moving away from that, and I think
yeah. But I love it because it makes it more like a movie or a
yeah, fuck it. I think it'd be really, really sad if every major
Everything is
publisher and
open,
every
huh?
major developer went in the direction of this games of services stuff, and we totally ignored these kind of linear story experiences. And I'm not even talking about things. I'm not talking about Gone Home and stuff like that. I'm talking about what Sony is doing right now in terms of The Last of Us, in terms of God of War, in terms of re-releasing Shadow of the Colossus. I think
God of War. Yeah.
there's this understanding in video games right now that the world that we're moving to economically for video games is about online persistent experiences, which it's very difficult to craft a really strong narrative out of those things, because by definition they need to last for hundreds of hours, and you can't really write hundreds of hours of story. And I think Sony deserve massive props for they do that stuff, and they work with third-party partners on that stuff, but in terms of their first-party output, it very much concentrates on that those bespoke linear story experiences. I hope they don't change that.
I think 2D platformers as well, which is why I'm really happy that Celeste is, and like Rayman Legends as well. These two I've just recently been playing. Really like those. Crash, but yeah, Celeste and Rayman Legends. What the next Rayman's gonna be like?
It's not necessarily a genre because you've got lots of them, and you'll laugh when I say, but in terms of roguelike stuff, but specifically Rogue Legacy, I know that developer has got a new game that they're working on, and it's completely different. I think they and everybody else has completely missed a trick in not making a sequel to that game. I love that game, and a lot of people love that game, but at the same time, it is like, in relative terms, it's fairly shallow. The sequel to that writes itself, and I'm really disappointed that we haven't got it. A lot of people will say that it's that I've forgotten the name again. I forgot it on a few podcasts.
What are we talking about?
This on. So the game that everybody says is the new Rogue Legacy, but it really isn't.
I remember.
It was in early access for ages. New Rogue.
Shovel Knight, something like that.
No.
I also think underrated, maybe turn-based games. Like Persona proved that there's some really good. You can have turn-based RPGs. Maybe turn-based RPGs, yeah, with some real good tactics, like old Final Fantasy games. They're still good. What is the one that John's trying to think of?
I don't know what are we talking about?
A roguelike game that was in early access for ages.
I'm gonna find it before we end the show, because I did this exact thing. Dead Cells, boom. So
Oh, yeah.
fucking Dead Cells, right? So everybody says
Dead Cells, isn't that an Epic Games game?
no.
No.
It's not Mela, sorry. And Epic Games like closing down everything. They're just gonna have Fortnite. They're probably gonna even close down Fortnite. The game was gonna kick out and be like,
yeah,
just stick
that's
it there.
That's okay.
Every time I watch it on Steam, I so want to play it, but I forget it.
There's a Steam sale, by the way, 15th of February.
There's no games left to buy.
I don't know, what games do I have still in my that I need to buy, or that I've got in my wish list?
So just to finish off my train of
I
thought,
want to
we
buy
need-
Owl Boy too.
Beg your pardon?
We need Rogue Legacy 2, and Dead Cells is really good, but that is not Rogue Legacy 2. So if somebody tells you that it is, ignore them. They're idiots. Okay.
Yeah, Rimworld and Factorio. They're in my wish list.
Factorio is a fucking amazing game, but you have to read a lot to understand it, and you have to get some. The thing is, everything you do it's just mathematics. It's so you just have to understand what you have to build and how much you have to build of it.
Yeah. Oh.
And then you nail the game. But it's really fun. And it's like, for me, I can sit and play it for 8 hours and have a great time.
Yeah. I might. Yeah, I'll give it a go. There's so many games though. I've got 9 here. I've got Rimworld.
I really want you guys to try Owl Boy.
Oh yeah, it's coming to the Switch this month. I might give it a go. I've also got it on the Humble Bundle. It's on this month's Humble Bundle.
Have you finished it, Melon?
Yeah.
How long is it going to take me to finish?
6-7 hours, I guess.
Cool. So I own it on PC, so I'll play it soon. I'll put it on the
awesome.
on the agenda.
Observer. I want to play Observer. Do we think that CD Projekt Red are going to show any of Cyberpunk at E3?
Yes.
They're going to be there, but well, what else are they going to show? Gwent?
They'll potentially just be behind the scenes showing industry people.
Oh.
But my guess would be that they show that game.
Yeah.
Potentially some gameplay.
I need to remove some games on this. Hellblade, I'm going to remove. Wolfenstein: The Old Blood. I heard that the Wolfenstein 2 DLC is terrible, and that you should not buy it.
What is this list of games that you're going through?
Go through my wish list. Observer. F1 2017. Remove that. WWE 2K18. Delete. Remove. Okay, so now it's a bit better, but I still probably end up buying a few things. Yeah, day after Valentine's Day, because apparently in Korea, South Korea, they have, obviously not North Korea, but they get money the day after Valentine's Day for some reason. So they're having a sale.
When is Far Cry 5?
March.
Yep,
I need to.
The 23rd of March is Ni no Kuni 2.
Oh yeah, there's so many games coming out.
I'm gonna play that.
Where's the best place for me to play the first one? Because I've pre-ordered the second. And
I think it's only on PlayStation 3.
Yeah, we don't have it on PlayStation.
So maybe it's on the store then. Maybe that's another thing I can play on my PS3.
I thought there were rumors it was coming.
If you just Google Ni no Kuni, it's just like, can we get it on PC? Can we get it on PlayStation 4?
Why not? I don't understand why not.
It didn't come to Xbox, is it? So I couldn't play on the One X.
No. Just PS3.
Exclusive.
Yeah, I'll play it on my PS3.
Need to go and
Studio Ghibli and fucking Level 5. It's
no Studio Ghibli in the new one. But like, it looks the same.
That Deliverance game is out this week. It's out on like Tuesday or something.
What's Deliverance?
That medieval RPG I was talking about.
Oh yeah.
week.
I will have to keep an eye on the
one where they got
into
an argument with IGN on Twitter.
Did they? About what?
So they posted like a marketing video saying this is what critics are saying about this game. And then it was like massive open world, but actually it was from like nobody had reviewed the game. It was just from like preview cycles. So like the lead reviewer from IGN was like, whoa. no, critics didn't say that. we were just previewing the game. It's a fact that it's a massive world. It's not necessarily a good one.
Yeah.
Nope.
Ouch. All right. Well, that's the end of the podcast. Unless you got anything to say. Malum, are we going to do any gaming tonight?
I think so.
Yeah, like in an hour.
I'm gonna have to eat a little bit.
Yeah, like in an hour. So we'll be
perfect
streaming in an hour. I'm also streaming tomorrow from 11, so I can't stay too late tonight.
Play?
I don't know. What do you fancy, Melon?
I don't know yet. I'm gonna have to
have a think. Maybe some Ghost Recon Wildlands. I kind of want to play a bit of that. But
oh yeah, we haven't played that in forever.
Yeah, it's a fun game. And I know a couple of people that want to play with us. I think Ni no Kuni's on the DS, a 3DS in Japanese.
It is?
That's a different game.
It's a different game.
Yeah, it must be.
That sounds... Yeah, 3DS, oh. Yeah, that does sound like pretty insane. Okay.
That's one of my favorite games all time. Oh,
why can't we play? Why can't I play it? It's so annoying. I've got a PS3 at home in the UK. My parents are like, I'm not sending that over, it's going to cost too much. So we'll see you guys in an hour. In the meantime, we'll send over the original is DS apparently, or the original Ni no Kuni.
What?
Wait a minute, I'm gonna have to
Awesome.
wait. What's this Ni no Kuni DS? I want to find out. It's Dominion of the Dark Djinn is the DS
So
game.
Ni no Kuni is 16 quid on PS3.
Okay, that's good deal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wrath
Yeah.
of the White Witch.
Yeah, Dominion of the Dark Djinn was the DS one.
My
I know.
name was for 2 years. My name on PC games was Drippy Cooney.
Yeah.
It sounds
Drippy.
like a girl with.
Sounds like
a
Jordan.
period.
It sounds like Jordan. You've got the But he has got the same voice as Jordan.
Hello.
Great. Oh, I want to play that game again. Okay. Catch y'all later. Stick around. We'll send a host over to probably Ben Dixon. And yeah.
Awesome.
Catch y'all later. Bye bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Snackers. Right, where's
Snackers.
yeah. It's on. Alright, bye.
Drippy
Bye-bye.
Fanny.
Drippy what?